There we go. Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin tonight's Gardena City Council meeting for Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024. Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll, please? Hit your microphone.
Mayor Serta,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka, Councilmember Henderson,
Here.
Councilmember Francis
She said she's on her way.
is on her way, Councilmember Love.
Here.
All members are present with the exception of Councilmember Francis, who is en route.
Okay, thank you. So tonight we need to go into closed session. Madam City Clerk, do we have anybody from closed session? Anybody who would like to speak on closed session?
No, I do not have anyone.
Okay. That being said, we are going to go into closed session and hopefully return and restart the meeting at 7:30. Okay, thank you.
Is anyone else coming from the school? Like sometimes the principal comes. Okay. I'm going to text her right now and tell her that you're here.
Everybody knows.
Oh, nice. Well, Cameron, you're in fifth grade. Awesome. So how do you, have you been here since kindergarten? I didn't. Oh. What is your guys' plan? Oh, I'm sure.
Yep, yep. Oh, that's wonderful. Thank you for having us.
So it's been a great, so she's even went to school there, so now she's applied, yeah, so she's just like.
I know she was ecstatic, right, that she gets to work.
For her lifestyle right now.
Is this our,
Yes, our pleasure.
Yep, that's
Turn
it.
it on, Cameron.
no pressure.
You got this.
Well, they did, last week they were at, they did a performance for 600 people, Teach Democracy. And so I think, you know, there's nothing, I mean, mom's probably more nervous. Yeah, she's not intimidated at all. So I said, it's kind of cool, like last week they did the performance on Teach Democracy. And he says, yeah, it's not fun. That was the point of the democracy.
So they're in closed session right now, so they're gonna come out, I'm just gonna kind of give you the rundown of what's gonna happen. So they come out at 7:30, the meeting will start, but, before that, you're gonna, you're gonna be able to take a picture, so Mom, you can even come in with your camera in here, and you're gonna sit at the mayor's seat holding a gavel, and you get to hit it. So you, and then your, Veery, so she will, he or she, I'm not sure, okay, she. So she will, actually you guys will trade seats, and then she'll get to sit, and then you stand next there. So there's great photos. And then you'll come back down, and, as you can see, it's right in the beginning of the meeting where the Pledge of Allegiance happens. Hey, Cameron, I'm well, thanks. And so, one of So I'm gonna just lower it a little. But I control the mic. Oops, sounds like it's on right now. So what you're gonna do is just face the flag. And then if you have something rehearsed, most people just say, put your right hand over your heart, ready, begin. And then you guys start citing the pledge. And then you go back to your seats and you remain standing because somebody's gonna lead us in the prayer. It's gonna be our Mayor Pro Tem. So anyway,
Phones on silent. Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin tonight's Gardena City Council meeting for Tuesday, October, the wrong agenda in front of me. Where did my agenda just go? 1 second, I grabbed the wrong one. It just got, oh, here we go. Okay, let's start this again here. Good evening, everyone. We're ready to begin tonight's Gardena City Council meeting for Tuesday, October the 8th, 2024. Madam City Clerk, will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Serta.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Here.
Councilmember Henderson.
Here.
Councilmember Francis.
Here.
Councilmember Love.
Here.
All members of the council are present.
Okay, thank you. So tonight we had closed session. Madam City Attorney, would you like to report out anything?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. Tonight, the council met during closed session with regards to items 2A and 2B. On both items, staff was provided with instruction and direction. That concludes my report. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we're going to begin tonight with our Pledge of Allegiance. Tonight we have two students from Chapman Elementary School. We have Cameron Moore and we have Very Santos. So at this time, if everyone can please stand for our two pledgers, and immediately following that, we will have our invocation.
Please place your right hand over your heart for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please continue standing. Tonight our invocation will be led by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we thank you so much for the gathering of tonight, that this council will make great decisions for our city and our constituents. Father, we just thank you that you bring peace to our country, bring peace to our great world with things that are happening. Father, we know that you'll be there to help and ease peace and bring comfort to all. Father, we just thank you that our city council can do the things that we can do for our city, and we just thank you for all our employees, all our directors, and those that care about what happens to us. So, Father, with that, we pray in your Son's name. Amen.
You may be seated. Okay, so tonight's Pledge of Allegiance was led by two students from Chapman Elementary School. If I can have you guys come back to the front. So tonight, it was led by Cameron Moore, who's in the 5th grade. And a little bit of information about Cameron. She likes math. Her favorite color is pink. She loves reading drama, and as well as she loves tennis. So Cameron, would you like to tell us who brought you here tonight?
My beautiful mother.
Your beautiful mom. Where is she at? So we can embarrass her now. Right there. Give her a round of applause. And is there anything you'd like to say?
I'm just excited to be here, and hello to my grandma and dad who are watching.
Okay, all right. She knows how to treat the camera. Okay, like it. All right, thank you. Also, we have Very Santos, who's also in the 5th grade, and Very likes math as well as the color red. That's her favorite color. Soccer, and she just loves playing fun sports. In fact, both the students are members of the school student council, the GATE program, and they assist the principal with daily morning announcements, and they both like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Wow. Okay. Very, can you tell us who brought you tonight?
My mom.
Your mom, where's she at? Right there. Give her a round of applause. Thank you. And is there anything you'd like to say as well?
I'm also really excited to be here.
Okay, well, we're really excited to have had both of you guys. You guys did a great job leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I look forward to hopefully seeing you guys come back in here again. Okay? Everyone give them one more big round of applause. Okay, you guys can take your seats now. Thank you. And as always, I'd like to thank our Mayor Pro Tem for stepping up and giving us our invocation tonight. He's great because he's always on, ready, just at a moment's notice, yeah? Always in one in the pocket, like it. I love it. Okay. So we're going to move on tonight to our presentations. We have a couple of them tonight. The first one, I'm going to let the chief take over. It's a certificate of commendation. I'm going to let him explain what it's about and bring the people up who are receiving the accommodations. Mike, can you hit the button right there?
Where we at?
Oh, I'm sorry. You got it? We're good.
Speak to the mic. Speak to the mic. Speak to the mic. Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, I want to introduce and congratulate our 7 Gardena Police Department outstanding community members on completing their 3rd cohort of the Gardena Police Community Academy. Your dedication and commitment to understanding the complexities of our police department demonstrate a true passion for making our community a safer and stronger place. By participating in this program, you've not only gained valuable insights into the work of our police officers, but you've also forged deeper connections with your neighbors. The Gardena Police Department Community Academy is a 4-session course designed to expose Gardena community members to Gardena police officers. It provides in-depth coverage of the Operations and Support Services Division and many of the department's unique details. Topics covered during this program include the district policing, the police academy, the field training officer program, police patrol procedures, including a simulator, use of force, firearms. We have an enthusiast there. Investigations, crime scene investigation, traffic, tactical medicine, SWAT, crisis negotiation, and K-9. As you step forward from this experience, remember that you are now ambassadors of the Gardena Police Department. The knowledge and skills gained through your dedication will play a crucial role in bridging the gap between law enforcement and the community through trust and collaboration. So thank you for your commitment to service and for being a shining example of what it means to be engaged citizens. We are proud of you and excited to see the positive impact you will continue to make in Gardena. And now I present our program coordinator, Lieutenant Chris Cuff, to introduce the graduates.
Madam Mayor and City Council, wanted to thank the members of the Community Academy. This is our 3rd cohort, and we will be doing another one in January. But I wanted to congratulate Rick Shigio, Sharice Glosson-Watson, Wendy Serrano, Annie Roddy, and Deborah Griffin for completing the Community Academy.
And also, they receive certificates, if you guys want to hold them up, and I'm just going to read what it says. It says certificate of commendation being presented to, and it has their name on it, and it says an official acknowledgement of your accomplishments and extending deep appreciation for your commendable service in the Citizens Academy with the Gardena Police Department. And then it goes on to say, we the mayor and the members of the City Council of the City of Gardena, California, do hereby deem it a distinct honor and privilege to present this recognition, and we offer our sincere congratulations and best wishes for continued success in all of your future endeavors, and it's been signed by all the council members, so congratulations from all of us here.
For those that are watching at home or anyone who's interested in doing our next Community Academy, we will be doing it again in January of 2025. You can contact me, Lieutenant Chris Cuff, ccuff@gardenapd.org, or my phone number, 310-217-9636. Thank you.
Okay, thank you again. Great job. Okay, so next we have a presentation by the Gardena Juvenile Justice Intervention Program, also known as GJIP. We have Officer Sterling Kim and Rosa Hernandez.
All right, Madam Mayor, members of the City Council, I'm excited to present a 2024 update for our Gardena Juvenile Justice and Intervention Program. You said Detective Sterling Kim and our lead case manager, Rosa Hernandez, will present that information.
Good evening, Madam Mayor, City Council. Good to see you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give a brief description of the program, which you already all know, but this is more for the attendants and the people's watching. And then Rosa's going to give a little bit of a update on what we've been doing with the program. And then a little surprise here. That was a surprise to myself also. So the Gardena Juvenile Justice Intervention Program is a program spearheaded by the Gardena Police Department that was designed to identify factors that may lead youth to engage into any type of delinquent behavior. The focus was to utilize evidence-based practices and to be as wraparound, to use a service that's what's termed as wraparound. So the goal is to find and determine what might be the underlying causes which might be leading youth to engage in coping behaviors, coping mechanisms that are actually harming them. And then to find and give them the assistance they need to overcome that so they don't end up following through with the criminal justice system. Our system is what we call a pre-booking system, which means that youth that are arrested or cited no longer are sent directly into the criminal justice system, but are instead diverted directly into our program, upon which we will assess them with the assistance of master social workers from local graduate schools. From the assessment, we then will link them to services that will provide assistance not only to the youth, but to the family or what other circumstances they might be need. It can be as extensive as getting them into inpatient services for drug addiction, or even if they are unhoused, find them housing, even finding jobs for their parents. Like I said, wraparound, we try to really identify whatever circumstances these people might be facing and to provide them whatever assistance that we can. And that's just a little bit about what we do.
Got to bring this down a little bit. Good evening, everyone. Just for some stats, ever since GJIB's inception in 2015, we have had about 939 youth come into our program. Of those 939, we have 50 current active clients. They're either completing their sanctions currently, or they are in the process of being closed out because they have already finished their sanctions with us, or we unfortunately have not had the opportunity to contact their parents and have successful contact. Since 2015, we've had less than 5% recidivism rate, which is amazing. That's less than 5% of all the clients that have come in have committed any other offense after already completing our program. Some of the trends that we're seeing with our youth that are coming into the program, we're seeing a rise in substance use and a rise in social media usage. It is unfortunately having some trickling effects, cyberbullying, violence at school, outside of school, unfortunately some issues at home and in the community. But with our program, we're able to provide whatever in-house services we can and just provide those referrals outside in the community so we can help our youth and their families.
Okay, awesome.
Okay, so this program, as you know, has had a significant impact on our community, improving it every day. And so it's easy for me to come up here and talk about stats, but we have a real-life example of what happens here. So Dorian Esters, his daughter Ariana, have come to talk about their experience. So, Dorian.
Thank you. Good evening, Mayor Serta and esteemed council members. My name is Dorian Esters. I am a proud father, husband, Christ follower, homeowner here in Gardena. And during the 23-24 school year, my beautiful daughter, Ariana, attends Robert Perry right down the street. I got a call one day that she was identified with 5 other girls, coming out of the bathroom. Bathroom smelled like weed, okay? So, go to the school, pick her up, ask her, hey, baby, what's going on? Were you in there smoking? No doubt I wasn't, right? No doubt I wasn't. So I'm like, okay. So, I said, I'm gonna stop at CVS and buy a test kit, right? A drug test kit, right? Once again, baby, this is gonna tell me were you smoking or not, right? And, after the test came back positive, I was more hurt that, she didn't confide in me rather than, she didn't tell me the truth. But, once I found out that the test was positive, I drove by the Juvenile Justice Intervention Program here on Western countless times, right? And often wondered, what is this all about? So when that test came back positive, I knew exactly who to call, right? So I Googled Juvenile Justice Intervention Program, made a phone call, talked to Miss Rosa, made an appointment. Ariana went in, did an orientation, got involved in the program. I think the second time, I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go in there, or actually we did a meeting with Tina first. She did a meeting with Ariana and myself to tell me, about the program, how they operate. So the second time I went, I said, I'm gonna go in the office, just to, instead of just dropping her off, I'm gonna go inside and, see, just to see what's going on. Detective Kim greeted me. We started talking and, make a long story short, he said, I'm here to save your daughter's life. And at the time, I thought that was kind of extreme, kind of harsh, right? She just got caught smoking weed, that was it. But then after, the drive home, got home, did some thinking, did some praying, I'm like, you know what? He's absolutely correct, right? Because I know from personal experience where my experimentation with marijuana took me, and I'm an open book, jails, institution, and prison, right? It was a gateway drug for me that led to, right? So I was like, I came to appreciate the fact, even though it was just, marijuana, but he said, that just stuck with me. I'm here to save your daughter's life, right? So, my daughter got involved. She really, really, really enjoyed the program. She would come home and tell me, Dad, I can't tell you what we talked about. She liked that. I'm like, oh, it's okay. There's confidentiality thing going on, and I can't tell you what we talked about, but I just can tell you I like it. I enjoy meeting with Miss Tina. She would stay afterwards sometime and hang out with Miss Rosa and Detective Kim. I could tell she enjoyed it. Her mother, myself, teachers at school, all saw an improvement in her attitude, her behavior. Her grades started increasing. This was her 8th grade year. She just started high school this year. The first report card she got in high school were the best grades she's ever got in her school history. All A's, 1B, right? Yeah, thank you. She deserves that. So, this program and these individuals at JJIP pouring into my daughter, really, really impacted me, really impacted her mother, our household, the school, just a phenomenal program. So any of you residents out there that, know of any young adults that are struggling, with mental health, drugs, whatever it is, utilize the resources. This program is awesome. And I just want to say she didn't go to jail, right? I thank God that it's an intervention program, that we intervened, right, before it led to that. I thank God that, an experiment or, her experimenting didn't turn into a habit. We intervened before, and it was because of this program, and the resources, like Detective Kim said, saved her life, because I know where addiction can take one, especially a beautiful young lady like this, right? So I'm here, to sing the praises of the program. Maybe not sing, because, Mayor, you'll probably ask Detective Kim to arrest me if I start singing, but just to voice my praises for this program. I just really, really appreciative of, the individuals involved, pouring into my daughter, coming around us, coming around our family to intervene and help. So just thank you for letting me share that.
Okay. Well, thank you, sir, for sharing that testimony with us. we already thought the program was great, but it's even better when we hear from people who've actually gone through it and experienced it. So thank you very much for that. All right, thank you, Chief. Okay, so next we have a couple of video presentations. Are we ready? While she's getting that ready, let me do some quick housekeeping here. So if you, tonight, if you would like to participate in our meeting, you can participate the following way. We have a couple of options. The first way is you can view our meeting live on Spectrum Channel 22 or online at youtube.com/City of Gardena. The second way you can participate is prior to the meeting, you can email our Deputy City Clerk at publiccomments@cityofgardena.org by 5 p.m. on the day of the meeting and write public comments in the subject line. The third way you can participate is by being here in person. Regarding public comments, the City Council will hear from the public on any item on the agenda or any item of interest that is not on the agenda at the following times. If it's an agenda item, we'll hear it at the time the City Council considers the item or during oral communications. If it's a non-agenda item, we'll hear it during oral communications. If it's a public hearing, it'll be at the time the public hearing is listed on the agenda. If you wish to address the City Council, please complete a speaker request form. It looks like this, and present it to the City Clerk or the Sergeant at Arms. Can you raise your hand? At that time, you will be called to the podium by name when it's your turn to address the City Council. The City Council cannot legally take any action on any item not scheduled on the agenda. Such items may be referred for administrative action or scheduled on a future agenda. Members of the public wishing to address the City Council will be given 3 minutes to speak. We also have standards of behavior that promote civility at all of our public meetings. We treat everyone courteously. We listen to others respectfully. We exercise self-control. We give open-minded considerations to all viewpoints. We focus on the issues and we avoid personalizing debate. And we embrace respectful disagreement and dissent as democratic rights, inherent components of an inclusive public process and tools for foregoing sound decisions. So I'd just like to thank all of you in advance for your attendance as well as your cooperation. All right, Deputy Clerk, we're ready.
Hi, I'm Ina Semenza, City Clerk for the beautiful City of Gardena. We've been preparing for election season, and because your vote matters, we want to make sure that you know all the options you have for dropping off your ballots. We have options with convenience of locations and your schedules in mind, so get ready to mark your calendars. First, if you want to just drop off your ballot and go, we have 2 24-hour official ballot drop-off locations that opened on Thursday, October 3rd. One is just outside the doors of Raleigh Park Auditorium, and the other is on the north side of the Nakaoka Community Center at the roundabout parking lot. Next, in-person vote centers. We have 4-day vote centers and 11-day vote centers. These centers are where LA County voters can drop off their vote by mail ballot or vote in person at any of these locations. You can visit any 11-day vote center beginning Saturday, October 26, 2024. The City of Gardena is hosting a center at Rush Gymnasium. Hours are every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Election Day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Finally, our 4-day vote centers. You can start visiting these beginning Saturday, November 2nd. The City of Gardena has 2 locations, one at Raleigh Park Gymnasium, and the second is at Vincent Bell Memorial Park. They're open every day from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Election Day from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. For more detailed information or questions, be sure to check our city's website and social media, or feel free to contact the City Clerk's office. Make your plan to vote and just #vote for it.
Okay, thank you. Next, we have item number 5D, which is the 2024 Keep Gardena Beautiful Day presentation. good. All right, and then next we have our Gardena events video presentation. Very good. There's no shortage of events here in Gardena. All right, so next we have a couple of proclamations here. The first one is Lights On After School, and this is being accepted by the Boys and Girls Club of Carson. Is Diane Mendel here today with us? Okay, as she's coming forward, I'm just going to read the proclamation here. And it reads as follows. Whereas the citizens of the city of Gardena stand firmly committed to quality after-school programs and opportunities, and whereas after-school programs provide safe and engaging learning experiences that help children realize their full potential, support working families by ensuring their children are safe and productive when they are out of their classrooms, help address key issues in our state, such as our schools' absenteeism, learning loss recovery, and workforce development, and build stronger communities by involving students, parents, business leaders, and adult volunteers in the lives of young people, thereby promoting positive relationships among youth, families, and adults. And whereas these programs also provide critical support for the academic growth and well-being of youth and offer new experiences and opportunities that help young people learn and grow, these supports are all important today. Every $1 invested in after-school programs save at least $3 by increasing kids' earning potential, improving kids' performance at school, and reducing crime and juvenile delinquency. And whereas Lights On After School, the national celebration of after-school programs held this year on October 24, 2024, promotes the importance of quality after-school programs in the lives of children, families, and communities. And whereas many after-school programs across the country are facing operating challenges so severe that they are forced to consider closing down their doors and turning off their lights, the demand for after-school programs continue to grow for every child in a program for or waiting to get in. And whereas the City of Gardena is committed to the education and well-being of our youth and investing in the health and safety of all young people by providing and expanding learning opportunities that help our children learn and grow while helping them develop the skills essential for success in life and work. So at this time, we proclaim October the 24th, 2024 to be Lights On After School Day and encourage all citizens of Gardena to enthusiastically endorse Lights On After School and commit to engaging in innovative after-school programs that ensure the lights stay on and the doors stay open for all children after school. Ms. Mendel, would you like to say anything?
Yes, I just want to say thank you. I can't believe it's already been a year since our last Lights On After School. Just Lights On After School is really important for all of us who are working with students and expanded learning programs and any programs that are outside of the school. We know that they really support our youth in making sure that we fill the gaps that our schools or our other programs may not be meeting. So this is one day where all of the programs come together, with all of our partners, including our government partners, to make sure that we highlight some of the important programs that we have for our youth. So again, I just want to thank you for acknowledging this special day. We are having a celebration in our clubhouse, so I'll definitely share that invitation so you can see what are the possibilities of partnership. But once again, I thank you.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate you working with us. Okay, and the next proclamation is for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, which was originally scheduled for September, but because we didn't have our second meeting in September, it was canceled. This is why we're still going to be proclaiming Childhood Cancer Awareness Month for the month of September. So it reads as follows. Whereas cancer is the leading cause of death by disease among U.S. children between infancy and age 15, according to a report by the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection. This disease is detected in more than 16,000 of our nation's young people each and every year. And whereas tragically 1 in 5 of our nation's children lose his or her battle with cancer, and many infants, children, and teens will suffer from long-term effects of their comprehensive treatments, including secondary cancer. And whereas the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection, Incorporated, founded a few years ago, provide a variety of vital patient services to children undergoing cancer treatment at children's hospitals in Los Angeles, the City of Hope National Medical Center, as well as hospitals throughout the country, thereby enhancing the quality of life for these children and their families. So we proclaim September 2024 to be Childhood Cancer Awareness Month in the City of Gardena and encourage all citizens to become informed about childhood cancer and its devastating effects on our country's children and their families, and possible ways that individuals can join with caring organizations to bring awareness, love, and support. Okay, that being said, we're going to move on here to our consent calendar because we don't have any appointments. So, Madam City Clerk, do we have anybody from the public wishing to speak on any items on the consent calendar?
No, Madam Mayor, we do not.
Okay. Does any member of the council have any items that they would like to discuss separately on the consent calendar?
Madam Mayor, before you get there, staff is pulling item 8L, which
Okay.
will be continued to a later date.
Okay, got it. Okay, are there any other items to be heard separately? Okay, Councilmember Mayor Pro Tem?
Madam Mayor, under
8H.
8H, I'm going to recuse myself.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull these two items before you walk out because you can vote with us on the bigger portion of it, and then we'll do that separately. Okay, so at this time, I'd like to get a motion to approve our consent calendar with the exception of item number 8H and item 8L. Can I get a okay, there's a motion. Councilmember Francis, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Madam City Clerk, will you call, the motion was made by Councilmember Francis and a second by Councilmember Henderson. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Love.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, item 8H, you can excuse yourself. Thanks. Okay, item number 8H. we don't need to go over this item. It's just he's on the one recusing himself.
Correct.
And since no one called for this item, we can just take that vote separately.
Correct.
Okay, so at this time, can I get a motion to approve item number 8H?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Madam City Clerk, a motion was made by Councilmember Henderson and seconded by Councilmember Francis. Will you call the roll, please?
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka. Oh, sorry. Councilmember Love
Yes.
and Mayor Serta.
Yes. Madam City Attorney, quick question. I know we're continuing item number 8L. Do we need to vote to continue it or no?
No, Madam Mayor, staff is pulling that item off.
Oh, that's right. You did say pulling it. Okay, thank you. Okay, can somebody let him know that we're back on? Okay, so next up is our Planning and Environmental Quality Commission action sheet. Item number 10A, the September 17th meeting was canceled. So there was the October 1st meeting. This meeting here was the third request for an extension. The Planning Commission considered a request for a third extension of time for tentative parcel map number 82410 to subdivide 17,000 square foot property at 15906 and 15908 South Manhattan Place, creating two separate parcels in a low-density multiple-family residential area, which is known as R2. Requested an extension, a 2-month extension. And at this time, the Planning Commission approved a third request for an extension of time, and by a 4-0 vote, granting an additional 2-month extension. So unless any member of the council wants to call for a review, if not, we will just receive and file. And then also there was an October 1st meeting, item number, 10C, which was regarding property 1818 West Redondo Beach Boulevard, the Tire House. Basically, the Planning Commission postponed this item, so there's no need for any action for us at this time. So we're just going to move on beyond that one. And then next we have our oral communications. And before I call any of those people up, Madam City Clerk, do we have anybody, did you receive any oral communications between our last meeting and today?
Yes, Madam Mayor, we did receive 3 communications. One was received late, and they were forwarded to the council, and there is also a copy for review in the review book.
Okay.
And anyway, they have been made part of the record, and if anybody wants to review them, they can do so by calling the city clerk's office or looking in the review book.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. All right, so we have 3 people tonight who are requesting to speak. I just want to remind all of our speakers, you do have 3 minutes to speak. When the yellow light comes on, it will let you know that your 2 minutes are up, and when the red light comes on, it will alert you that your time is up. We ask at that time that you finish your statement there and not continue on. The first speaker tonight is Russ Bryant, and then after that is Andrea Simmental, and then after that is Paul Randall.
My name is Russell Bryant. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can. Thank you.
I'm an artist. I have a studio at 13612 Normandy at 136th Street. And over the past year, we've had 2 people cut our catalytic converters from under our car. We've had a homeless person set up an encampment, which we call GBT, to have removed. And then in July, we had a person come off the street and climb through one of our windows. And fortunately, I intercepted them before they fully got into the building, and they ran away. And shortly thereafter, actually, I had a gate put up across the front of the parking structure to keep people out. And we modeled that gate on gates that are in our community. There's over 100 of them that we took examples from. And then we got a notice thereafter that we were not in compliance. And honestly, I had no idea. I had to pull a permit to have this gate built. But nevertheless, so after the fact, I'm being proactive to get this issue resolved. In meeting with the planning department, the first time I was told we could have a gate that was 20 feet into the property, and our parking lot is 27 feet, so that didn't work. The second time, we were told we could have it at 10 feet. It still doesn't work. And then today, I got an email from Amanda. Well, I sent them an email on Thursday to Amanda and Greg as well. And I was told that we could have a gate at 3 feet, and it would be 3.5 feet tall, which doesn't prevent anyone from coming onto our property or coming through our windows again, for that matter. So I'm asking, I'm open to suggestions. I'm asking if we could have a variance so that we could be compliant and also have gates that are modeled throughout our community. And I'm just here presenting this issue, asking for help, mostly. I fear for our safety more than anything. It was quite terrifying to have someone come through our window, and I'm not certain that it won't happen again. So, and the last part of this is that as of today, the last email we received is as of today, today was the final notice, and if we aren't in compliance, then we start receiving fines and removal fees. And I'm just asking for help.
Okay. Unfortunately, during oral communications, the council does not respond to any of these items. We are taking this into consideration.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, we have Andrea Simmental, and then after that, we have Paul Randall.
Honorable Mayor and members of the City Council, I'm Andrea Simmental, the Community Library Manager at the Gardena Mamie Deer Library, and I'm here to make announcements about programs at Gardena and Misao W. Sato Libraries. At Gardena Library for Children, we have a book party, If You Give a Cat a Cupcake. So join us for a special book party where we will read If You Give a Cat a Cupcake by Laura Numeroff, then paint a ceramic cupcake coin bake for each child to take home, and that's for ages 5 to 12. For teens, we have Teen Read Month Teen Trivia. That's on Saturday, October 26th from 2 to 3. And do you have what it takes to be the Teen Read Month Trivia Champion? Have fun, win prizes, and see if you are more knowledgeable about teen books and library resources than your peers, and that's for teens ages 13 to 17. For adults, Find Your Zen takes place on Thursday, October 24th from 10:15 to 11:15 a.m., and this is our monthly non-denominational Zen meditation workshop. And our next book club takes place on October 26th from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. The selection for October is Hello Beautiful by Anne Napolitano. Copies of the book are available at the customer service desk. And at Misao W. Sato Library, get ready for school, enjoy books, songs, rhymes, and movement while learning school readiness skills and having fun at Smarty Pants Storytime. Storytime takes place on Tuesdays, October 15th and 22nd from 3 to 3:30 p.m., and that's for ages 2 to 5 with a parent or caregiver. And on Tuesday, October 15th from 3:30 to 4, join us for Parent Cafe, an opportunity to chat with other caregivers and gather parenting tips from a Triple P Positive Parenting Program accredited librarian. And Teen Read Month, Pencil Pouches, is on Wednesday, October 16th from 4 to 5. And celebrate Teen Read Month. Come to decorate your own pouch. Don't get caught without a pen or pencil to jot down your book notes on your next great read, and that's for teens. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Paul Randall?
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, City Council, staff, residents. I'm Paul Randall. Everybody knows me. Mama Rosa's Food Pantry on October 5th, we served 191 walk-up. Total household numbers was 685. We gave away 15,787 pounds of food. We had 31 fantastic volunteers. Each client received a 24 to 50 pound box of dry goods, a 15 to 20 pound box of produce. We provided each one of them with 3 bags of frozen dumplings, taco meat, or frozen fish. Each client was able to select 5 different bread items. For example, white bread, wheat bread, bagels, French bread loaves, pastries, or donuts. Has anybody seen the price of bread lately in the grocery store? Since our reopening August 3rd, we've served 2,923 clients. Total amount of product served, 78,000 pounds. Recently, we were asked to review our client data for an article to determine the percentage of Gardena residents and non-Gardena residents. 46 to 51% of the clients are Gardena residents. Everyone else is in the local area. Since opening, Mama Rosa's distribution as a walk-up distribution has provided many challenges. We've turned those challenges into opportunities and friendships. Let me give you a challenge. We have a client that speaks only Russian. I don't know if anybody in this room knows how to speak Russian. We have a translator. Everybody has one on their phone. We learned a lot. In closing, I'd like to thank Councilwoman Paulette Francis and Laura Richards for visiting us. Last Saturday, I know it was our distribution, and I was able to sneak out and go to the Gardena PD Canine Pancake Breakfast. I wish I could say I enjoyed the pancakes, but my Dutch Shepherd that's in the office, she ate them before I could find a fork. Eggs were great. Honorable Mayor and City Council, I hope in the future we could show some videos of what our pantry, volunteers, and everything looked like. It's been fantastic to serve this community. Thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. All right, next up is item number 13A. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda item 13A is the public hearing. It's the Consolidated Annual Performance and Evaluation Report of CAPER for the 23-24 fiscal year. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD, requires that the City Council annually conduct a public hearing to allow for comments regarding the city's Consolidated Annual Performance Evaluation Report, CAPER, for each fiscal year. CAPER is a federally required annual review of the city's progress towards meeting the objectives specified in the city's 5-year consolidated plan for use of Community Development Block Grant, or CDBG funds. Public notice was published in the Gardena Valley News on September 11, 2024, to solicit public comments from interested citizens and invite them to the City Council meeting if they wish to comment on this item. In addition, the draft CAPER was available for public review for the required 15-day period from September 19, 2024 through October 3, 2024 at City Hall and on the city's website. There is no financial impact. What is required tonight is to open the public hearing, receive testimony from the public, allow 3 minutes for each speaker, and close the public hearing. Staff recommends the City Council authorize staff to submit the fiscal year 23-24 CAPER to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Okay. Greg, do you have a presentation beforehand or no?
I don't have a presentation, but in summary, this is just an annual report that we submit to HUD on an annual basis. If you look at some of the details in a report, you'll notice some of the accomplishments aren't yet recorded. That's because we started it in this fiscal year, and they're going to be recorded in the next fiscal year. So that's, if you look at some of the details, you'll say, why is there a 0 there? And it's because we don't report until it's actually completed.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Okay, so this is a public hearing. The hearing is now open. Madam City Clerk, do we have anybody from the public wishing to speak on this item?
We do not, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. Does any member of the council have any questions or comments at this time? Okay, if not, I'm going to close the public hearing. And if I can get a motion to authorize the staff to submit their 2023-2024 CAPERs to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. Is there a second? I'll second. Oh, you want to second it? Okay. Madam City Clerk, a motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka and a second by Councilmember Henderson. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Francis.
Yes.
Councilmember Love.
Yes.
Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay, next up is item number 13B. Mr. City Manager.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, agenda item 13B is the introduction of ordinance number 1875, amending chapter 18.66 and section 18.36.020, and adding chapter 5.80 to the Gardena Municipal Code relating to non-storefront retail medicinal cannabis delivery service businesses. The adoption of the ordinance is exempt from the provisions of the California Environmental Quality Act, or CEQA, under the common sense exemption of CEQA Guidelines, Section 15061B3. On September 18, 2022, Governor Newsom signed Senate Bill number 1186, SB 1186, into law, referred to as the Medicinal Cannabis Patients' Right of Access Act, prohibiting cities from adopting or enforcing any regulations on or after January 1st, 2024, that directly or indirectly prohibits the retail sale by delivery of medicinal cannabis in the city. In order to comply with the requirements of SB 1186, the city must consider amendments to chapters 18.66 and Title V of the Gardena Municipal Code. Ordinance number 1875 has been drafted to make the necessary amendments. On August 20, 2024, the Planning Commission approved resolution number PC 16-24 by a vote of 3-1, recommending City Council to adopt ordinance number 1875 and amend GMC Chapter 18.66 and Section 18.36.020 under Title 18, zoning and determination on the adoption of the ordinance to be exempt from the provisions of the CEQA. The Planning Commission did not make a recommendation as to the changes to Title V, as those provisions are not within the purview of the Commission. The City Council is being asked to consider the adoption of ordinance number 1875 in its entirety. There is no financial impact. What is required tonight is to open the public hearing, receive testimony from the public, allow 3 minutes for each speaker, and close the public hearing, and also introduce ordinance number 1875, find that the adoption of the ordinance is exempt from provisions of CEQA, and direct staff to file a notice of exemption.
Okay. Amanda or Greg, do you have a presentation?
Hi, good evening, Madam Mayor and members of the City Council. I'll be providing an overview of the changes drafted under ordinance number 1875. As mentioned, this ordinance has been drafted to ensure the city's compliance with state regulations that were passed under Senate Bill 1186. Again, this state law establishes that the cities are prohibited from enforcing any regulations that would prohibit any delivery of medical cannabis within the city's boundaries to patients and caregivers. This includes establishing locations for delivery within the city, or with businesses that are called non-storefront retailers. Non-storefront retailers, again under Ordinance 1875, will be defined as meaning a retailer that sells medical cannabis within the city to customers only through delivery, though. So there will be no public access. It would be closed to the public, but a location that would be located here, again, for medical cannabis use only for delivery. What SB 1186 does not require, it does not take away the city's impacts to have control over other other cannabis uses. So non-medical cannabis businesses could still be prohibited within the cities. And it does not limit the city's continued enforcement on prohibition on other types of uses for medical cannabis, so such as cultivation and manufacturing or testing of medical cannabis products. Those are not required to be allowed within the city under the state law. So what does the city need to do in order to comply with this new regulation? Well, first, it does need to lift its current ban on medical cannabis delivery within the city's boundaries, and to, again, allow a certain, the establishment for non-storefront retailers within the cities. The city should also consider regulations. SB 1186 does allow for a city to establish specific regulations for these types of businesses. So the city should recommend, within the ordinance is established that these regulations be in place. So what are these regulations? So at first, under Ordinance 1875, asked, again, to lift the ban on, to allow for these types of uses and to provide that distinguishment between what is now allowed, which again is only the delivery of medical cannabis products to patients and caregivers within the city. All other types of deliveries would still be prohibited within the city's boundaries. Again, under the ordinance would establish that the non-storefront retailers would be allowed within the city's M1 and M2 zoning districts. These are the industrial zoning districts within the city's zoning map. Again, it would only be allowed within these zoning districts. However, there would be distance requirements of 600 feet away from any sensitive receptors. So that's your public, private schools, daycares, public parks. And lastly, as mentioned, as allowed under SB 1186, it does allow for regulations and licensing requirements. So this ordinance would establish that process here within the city. It would be administered through the police department that will run a background check for those establishing here in the city and any employees, again, over the age of 21 to obtain a license from the city. It also requires that all the license requirements be obtained by those individuals from the state's office as well for cannabis use. As mentioned, so there are recommendations for amendments to the zoning titles. So staff brought this ordinance to the city's planning commission, who governs the city's land use regulations. But as this is changes to the city's ordinance, it is to the city council to make those decisions. But planning commission did recommend that the changes that were drafted in ordinance 1875 be approved. As mentioned, it was only to those that were drafted under the Title 18, the zoning code. The planning commission also found that the ordinance could be exempt from the provisions of CEQA as mentioned under the common sense exemption. So what's being asked of the city council tonight is to open the hearing, receive testimony from the public, allow 3 minutes for each speaker,
3
and
minutes.
close the hearing.
You said
Sorry?
30.
Oh,
3.
Yes, I would like to, yes, ensure that 3 minutes, yes, for each speaker. Thank you. And close the hearing. The recommendation for tonight for motion by staff is to introduce this ordinance and will be brought back and for a second reading. But again, to introduce ordinance number 1875 and find that the adoption is of the ordinance is exempt from CEQA and direct staff to file a notice of exemption.
Okay, thank you. So at this time, the hearing is now open. Madam City Clerk, do we have anybody from the public wishing to speak on this item?
No, Madam Mayor, we do not.
Okay, does any member of the council have any questions or comments at this time?
I do, Madam Mayor.
Okay, Councilmember Francis?
Okay, so this is non-storefront delivery. Basically, it's a delivery service. Am I clear on that?
That's correct, yes.
So there'd be no like retail sales. I couldn't come up to the address and buy something.
No, the state law doesn't require the cities to allow for that, and that's not what's being proposed under this ordinance. So no, there would not be a physical
walk-up
location,
sales.
somebody can, a retail, yes, open to the public, no. It would not be, that type of use would still be prohibited within the city.
Okay, and how do you know who you're selling to? I mean, I can just call up or, I'm a 12-year-old. Hello, my name is Mr. John. Can I have, I don't know how it's sold, but can you please deliver to my address? So how do I know it's not someone's under 21? What is in the ordinance to ensure that it's really as a person that's age 21 or older? I'm assuming it's age 21 older, just like.
So again, this is for medical cannabis patients. It's not for any recreational cannabis sales that would still be prohibited within the city. This would only be to allow for the delivery, again, of medical cannabis. So it would have to be a prescription, by a medical practitioner to license to in order to have those deliveries sent to them or their caregivers.
Okay, so if it's you have to have a prescription. And how do you, because my doctor would just call CVS and take care of it that way. So how do you, because I think this is a little bit different than just regular prescriptions, like for a headache or something. So how do you determine that it's actual legitimate medical practitioner that is making these prescriptions, or is that?
Councilmember Francis. So remember, they're ordering the cannabis from someone who is licensed, and so they are the ones that are ensuring that they're actually selling to someone that's authorized. If they're selling to someone that's not under medicinal, they risk the possibility of losing their license. So it's the business itself, the cannabis retailer, that is ensuring that they're selling to someone who's actually authorized to purchase, because they're risking their license. Just like CVS makes sure that they're selling you the correct medication, that you have the correct prescription for it. If it turns out that there's a report to the state cannabis bureau that they're selling medicinal cannabis to someone that's not authorized, then there would be an investigation into that. Just like if CVS was selling you medication that they weren't authorized to sell you, there would be an investigation. So it's the same practice.
So in this ordinance, are they required to keep records?
So they are required to keep records, and remember the number one thing, they have to comply with all the regulations of the state, which are extremely strict and detailed as it pertains to cannabis, because they're obtaining their cannabis license first before they can even come and apply to for our delivery license with the state.
So they're applying for 2 licenses, one with the state and then one with the city.
Right, and they first have to go to the state, if I recall the state.
I think they have to get ours to go to the state to get the licensing, because we tried to do it the other way.
And the borough was the one that said, you have to get yours first. So we took the recommendation from the Borough of Cannabis.
But basically, it's not like a prescription like you get 30 penicillin pills to take over 5 days or whatever. It's either you have a medical marijuana card, which a doctor issues to you, or the doctor has given you some form of paper or something that says you're recommended for medical marijuana use.
With unlimited refills?
I don't think they specify on those how much you get or what the number of refills are. I cannot say that from personal experience. I can only tell about doctors' prescriptions from CVS.
And what about requiring any type of, because I'm assuming that the person that's delivering it, is there a requirement in this ordinance where they have to be age 21 or older?
Yes.
Or can anybody 16 years old?
That's part of the state regulations. We included those, I realize, like 70 pages I excerpted from state regulations. But you do have to be 21 under state law to deliver.
Yeah, I just want to make sure it's included, since they're coming here first in order to go to the state. I just want to make sure that we're correct.
Yes, they have to be 21.
20 years and older.
And they have to be licensed by the state as well.
Who licensed the person, the driver, has to be licensed by the state?
I believe so. They're going to have to be licensed by us and by the state, I believe.
The driver?
We're going to do a background check on the drivers, just like we do background checks on casino workers.
Okay, and what about insurance? Are they required to carry any type of liability insurance as far as our ordinance goes?
No.
They're not?
Only as vehicle insurance. I mean, they're driving. So what's required by the state of any driver, but there is not a separate insurance that's required.
So nothing in our ordinance would say, I mean, because if we don't have anything that says that person should, I mean, I would suspect that if I were a delivery driver for Pizza Hut or somebody, that Pizza Hut would want me to have some type of liability insurance and have some type of proof.
But again, that's between the business and the driver. These are employees of the business. They're not independent contractors. We don't require for Amazon or any other delivery service in the city that their drivers show us proof of insurance.
So we wouldn't require the business. Do we require businesses like Amazon to make sure or find some way to ensure their drivers will have liability insurance? No? We just go, okay. And what about training? Do we have any kind of, there's some training process they need to go through, or to make sure that they know what they're doing, or, I mean, I don't know,
As to the drivers or as to the business?
both, either or.
I don't think they're training per se, but certainly there are hundreds of regulations that
I mean, I know, I was just
They
curious
have
about
to
what
follow.
we're
But we
we're
don't
thinking
know. We
about
do not
doing. I know
require-
there's lots of stuff out there, but I just want to know what City of Gardena, 'cause
we,
this is where I live.
we are not requiring anything in addition.
All right. And we're not asking them to do any type of inventory tracking system just to make sure that they're
State law
actually-
requires that.
And so are we, so, okay, I guess if the state law
So-
requires it, does it have to be in, or should it be in our ordinance just so we're covered? Or can we just say, well, since state required, we don't have to worry about it?
No, our ordinance requires that they do everything required by state law. So by default, it's part of our ordinance as well. But we did not repeat all of the regulations in our ordinance that's in state law that they have to comply with.
And what about?
And we do require that the records be made available to the chief of police or his designee that are required to be kept by state law. But there is a tracking requirement.
And so there's only, and they're only allowed to deliver within the city of Gardena. I guess that'll be a part of their inventory, or can they go, say, my delivery service in Gardena, can I deliver to Torrance?
Yes,
We can?
yes. We truthfully don't expect these businesses to be located within the city because we have neighboring jurisdictions that have much looser regulations that allow delivery service not just to medicinal patients, but to recreational users as well as the storefront walk-in retail type service. So it doesn't seem that somebody would go to the trouble to obtain a license to only be able to deliver medicinal cannabis when they could go to Hawthorne or to City of LA or County of LA and open up a business that would allow delivery to a much broader base that's essentially the same area.
Well, you never know. You never know. It's kind of hard to think what might occur in someone else's mind when they're establishing a business. So, I mean, we can assume that, but so it has to be, and it has to be a legal business. It can't be it has to be a legal business entity. I just can't be. So I have a business license, and now is a business license same? Is there going to be a separate license for like a cannabis license? For example, I guess I'm opening up a beauty salon. There's a business license for that, or like a wholesaler or retail.
So what?
Maybe two different ones.
What you'll essentially need is your state license to operate. You will need a city business license to operate, and then the cannabis permit business license that's issued by the police department to operate.
And this is only for retail. It won't be wholesale. I couldn't be a wholesale delivery.
No, all it can be is retail delivery.
They can't post anything on their building that says this
That's
is a
my other
marijuana.
question.
Yep.
It's in what they sent us. You can't put anything about marijuana on the business. that
Talking to your
says
mic.
You can come in and buy it.
Talking to your mic.
Right. Nothing visible from the outside. That is in our ordinance, and I believe that's state regulations as well.
And it won't end up next door to me in my residential. It's specifically only for manufacturing places.
It's in the M1, M2 zone with a
Solely.
600-foot distance from any residence. So if you had an M1 that was right up against a residential use, you couldn't do it there.
Yeah, this is, you know, we do have residential.
Right, that's
It's
why
right
there's
in
the
the middle.
600 feet
So 600 feet.
distance from sensitive uses.
All right. Okay. I can't think of anything else I looked at. Thank you. Thank you for your response.
Okay. Question, and maybe I overlooked this. Can their vehicle have advertising on there?
No.
It can't. Okay. Was that in here or did I miss it?
It's in state regs.
Okay.
I'm not sure if we put it
Under the.
in ours as well. Amanda's flipping through.
No, I mean, your answer's sufficient
Yeah,
for me.
but it's definitely in state regs. Yeah, and not on the delivery vehicles.
Not on, so it can be just a regular plain car, just delivery. Okay, so I guess for anybody watching this at home, this is something that state regulated, so we have to approve this.
We have to approve it.
In case anybody thinks that, hey, we're just approving marijuana here, this here is just medical marijuana, you know, the state this is a formality, I guess we're going to do, but we have to approve this, so.
Madam Mayor, and
Yes.
hypothetically, just say, we've talked a lot about a lot of regulations that we're implementing, that we're recommending, that if you chose not to adopt this ordinance, then you wouldn't even have those regulations that you're choosing to have as well. There are state regulations, as Amanda pointed, and then there's additional ones that we've included
Correct.
in addition. So we've gone through it thoroughly, and where we could add additional things where we still have that local control, we're recommending that.
Okay.
You not adopting this ordinance, well, basically, you're not taking advantage of that opportunity.
Okay, all right, well, it sounds like we're being as thorough as we can. Okay, if there are no more questions on this item here, we're going to go ahead and close did I open the hearing? Yeah, we're going to close the hearing. And at this time, can I get a motion to introduce ordinance number 1875? Okay, is there a second?
Madam Mayor, excuse me, can we add the additional items of the, on the motion?
Oh, I'm sorry, you're right, because I'm supposed to read a certain way. This time, I'm looking to get a motion to introduce ordinance number 1875, find that the adoption of the ordinance is exempt from the provisions of CEQA and direct staff to file a notice of exemption. And so I think the motion was being made by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka, and is there a second? Okay. All right. Madam City Clerk, a motion was made by Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka, and a second was made by Councilmember Love. Will you call the roll, please?
Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Yes.
Councilmember Love.
Yes.
Councilmember Henderson.
Yes.
Councilmember Tanaka. I'm sorry. Mayor Serta. Oh, Councilmember Francis.
No.
No.
Oh, I think I'm next.
Oh, yes, Mayor Serta.
Yes. Okay. Madam City Attorney, is this one of the items that we'd have to, I mean, as long as we have a
4-1, that's fine.
That's fine? Okay. Okay. All right, that's done. This will come back to us because this was just introduced. And since Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka was the one who voted first on this, you will be the one introducing it. Okay, with that being said, we're going to move on here to council, where are we at? Council directives here. Does any member of the council have any directives at this time? Okay, we do not. We're going to move on to city manager remarks regarding previous directives and council items.
Mayor Serta, members of the City Council, I have a few memos that I've sent to you. One is the CDD Vargas Properties Development Memo. Also have the master plan, Parks Master Plan and CIP Improvements Memo. Another memo that notifying City Council and our residents in our community that the Wi-Fi in the parks are now available. And lastly, we have the memo on the Redondo Beach Boulevard Improvements Project. Lastly, we have a couple of folks that are now legally able to vote and gamble. We have Councilmember Mark Henderson on the October 2nd. Happy birthday, sir.
All right, happy birthday.
And then we have Alan Rigg. Happy birthday on October 5th.
All right.
And we have cake after.
Oh, okay.
Oh, our Assistant City Attorney, Lisa Kranitz, on the 10th.
Oh, wow, okay. That's going to be our new official birthday clap. Thank you for introducing that. Okay, anything else? That's it? Okay. That being said here, let's go to council remarks here. Let's begin tonight with Councilmember Love.
Good evening. After our last council meeting, I did absolutely nothing. I did attend one event. I attended the Food, Brew, and Wine Fest, where I hosted the LA County Recorder's Office to come out and do voter registration, and they also hosted it again this past Saturday with in partnership with the city clerk's office. And combined the two events, we had a grand total of 13 new voters that registered. And that number is very significant because after talking to Carmen, city clerk's office, that county recorder's office has been out to events and got no one to register. So we had like 7, I think, at the Beer, Brew, and Wine Fest. And it was really interesting because there were people that didn't know that they could register to vote after they, may have been incarcerated or for various reasons. So it was really great to take advantage of educating the people on not just the importance of voting, but knowing their voting rights. So that is my report.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Councilmember Francis.
All right, thank you. Since the last time we had convened, I attended a Harvest Festival and the Food, Wine, and Brew Festival, which were all really great events. And thank you, staff, for putting those events together. And they were very nice as always, excellent, and great turnout as well. Also, we saw about the Keep Gardena Beautiful Day. Again, thank you, staff, for organizing that, and we had an excellent turnout. I think we had about 525 folks that are out, volunteers coming out, and that was larger than last year. So thank you so much for that. It was a huge success. And while I'm on the topic of keeping Gardena beautiful, it's all our responsibility. Keeping Gardena beautiful is not a one-day event; it's an everyday event. So if you see something, say something. We have an app on your phone, Gardena Direct, that you can call or text it in or call it in, and they'll be taken care of. We have one of the cleanest cities, I think, around in the South Bay, and it's all because of our wonderful public works staff and also because of you. Something. Stats? Oh my goodness. Well, thank you. Oh, the highlight, yes. Keep Gardena Beautiful Day 2024 highlight presentation. There were over 500 attendees. We had 14 cleanup locations, railroad tracks, community garden at Perry Middle School, and the Willows Wetland. And we ended lunch at Masukai with Giuliano's and Raising Cane's, which is delicious. Thank you so much. And we had some photos from earlier. Thank you so very much. I appreciate that. And also, I want to say congratulations to the 3rd graduating class of the Gardena Police Community Academy. Excellent idea, and that's a great form of community outreach and community engagement, because an engaged community is an active community and also an informed community, so we appreciate that. And it also builds relationships because, it's all about relationships right now. I also want to thank Mr. Esther and his daughter Ariana Esther for their testimony about the successful Gardena Juvenile Justice Intervention Program. And it's just good to know that intervention is the key can turn our young people around. And there's a lot going on, so I'm glad for this program. And what else I got? It's a Harvest Festival. Make sure I don't leave anything out. I always get home and think I should have said that. But listen, we have a very important election coming up on November 5th. And you've heard all the news about it's the most consequential election. Of course, that is true. But like I told the group, every election is important. So make sure you vote. If you will turn 18 by November 5th, you may register to vote. Even I understand in California, if you're a felon, ex-felon, or a felon, you can still vote. So please vote. It's very important. Am I correct? Yes. So please vote November 5th. We have it's so easy. You can drop it off in the mail. We have drop-off boxes. You can just take a ballot in. You can mail it in. You can walk it in. I'm going to vote in person because I happen to like going to the polls and casting my vote that way. But just make sure you vote. It's a part of our democracy and keeps our democracy going. And with that, I believe that concludes my remarks. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Next up is Councilmember Henderson.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. Since our last meeting, I was able to attend the 9/11 recognition, recognizing all those souls that were lost on that day. I want to say that I was really moved by Dorian's testimony regarding his daughter and his family and the impact that GGIP has. So it's money well spent. We should keep investing it. Again, you know, we can't reach everybody, but those that we reach, I think we have a positive impact. So I want to say thank you for him for that full disclosure and sharing. We also want to thank our Citizens Academy, and speaking to a lot of those members, they have a new sense of understanding and enlightenment in regards to city and how we're run and everything. So Chief, let's keep that going. So that's really great as we work to continue to bridge the gap between our public safety and our community. I also want to send some gratitude in regards to the Wi-Fi in the park. I want to give recognition to the Director of Admin Services, Ray Beeman, and the Director of Human Services and Parks, Stephanie Santine, as well as yourself, Mr. City Manager. We did receive that grant funding from Assemblymember Al Marisucci. I can't remember the dollar amount, 1.5 million or 2.2 million or something like that, 2 million, to help us work on bridging the digital divide through COVID. We found out and understood that even within a community such as ours that's really thriving, there still are those that have not crossed the digital divide. So we were able to get this going. I also want to thank this body for supporting that vision and getting there. So it's 100 megabytes availability at Johnson, Freeman, and Thornburg and Bell Parks. Then there's some maps, so we'll put those maps online. It's available from 6 a to 10 p when the park closes. But we want to say, again, the City of Gardena is thinking about all its residents and working to make sure we do our part to make sure everybody has an equal opportunity as part of our equity plan to make sure everybody has some success in society and in life. With that, Madam Mayor, so ends my report.
Okay, thank you. And for myself, since the last council meeting, I'm going to go kind of quick here because I have a few things here to just talk about here. I attended the 9/11 ceremony, also Coffee with a Cop at Opola Inca, Kashmir Gatekeepers, one of their neighborhood watch meetings, Haas Block Club, their block club had a block party, I'm sorry. Also the PS I Love You Foundation, where it was called A Day at the Beach, and they took kids from Gardena and the inner city, Watts, and even as far as East LA to the beach to teach them how to swim, surf, or maybe just get out and enjoy the water. And they were all chaperoned. We had some of our officers out there helping out as well, and so it was a great event. And this is, we actually participated in this, I think this is our third year we've participated in that. Also, immediately following that, I attended the International Business Forum in Las Vegas, was there for 3-4 days, speaking to potential investors who are interested in investing in communities. They're also interested in Gardena, and just told them some of the things that they should be doing before buying properties, checking on to make sure you have the right kind of, the zoning is right for what you want to do, and just some of the mistakes that maybe people have made in the past to make sure that they don't make those mistakes before investing a lot of money. I also attended my monthly CCGA meeting, my sanitation meeting, with Councilmember Francis, September Home of the Month. Also, a park workshop meeting that was held at Nakaoka Community Center here, Kiwanis Spaghetti fundraiser to help out at Kiwanis. Also, I attended Keep Gardena Beautiful Day, and again, I just want to thank Public Works for the amazing job you guys did. It was said earlier the number of people that were there, but every year it keeps growing, it's getting better, and just your whole coordination, the way you handled it, I thought was awesome. It was a lot of fun riding around on the trolley. That's something we've never done before, so that was great too. We were kind of like showcasing our G-Trans trolley, riding around, and at the same time, the council members had the opportunity to go and thank our volunteers, as well as take some fun pictures too. So that was really good. And then immediately following that, I attended a basketball sports clinic, that was hosted by college Bruins player Dylan Andrews. He had a 2-day sports clinic here at Rush Gym, and a really, really nice young man. And what I learned about him was not only was he doing this sports clinic, but he's also in the past had different food giveaways, backpack giveaways, and he's willing to do more in the community. So it was really nice to see this young man who's been doing this since even before he became known and famous in college for, for playing basketball. So it was really nice meeting him for their 2-day event. And then also later on that evening, I attended the Toomey Awards. This year is an award that is for Peruvian American individuals who've done outstanding things in their communities, those who've won Nobel Peace Prizes, been in the Olympics, and it's an organization that just recognizes different Peruvian American individuals. So that was hosted here at the Naco Community Center. And then also I attended the ICSC conference in Palm Springs with our economic development manager, and where we reached out and to different retailers to see if we could get them to come to Gardena. And I was there for a couple of days, and really just good meetings that we had there with just potential businesses that might be interested in coming to Gardena. And then immediately following that, I attended the LA Sanitation personnel meeting that was hosted in Whittier. And then the next day, the employee recognition function, finance committee meeting, and then the following day, Gardena High School Career Day with a couple of our Gardena police officers, and that was a lot of fun. We had a whole auditorium where we were talking to kids, not just going from classroom to classroom. So a lot of good questions and just a great time there. And then later on that day, I attended Neighborhood Watch over at Sarah High School, also Holly Park Homeowners Meeting, as well as the CERT, where they have their annual monthly meeting where they talk about disaster preparedness. Then the next day, I attended Gardena High School's homecoming, and then the following day, the Canine Breakfast, as well as First Presbyterian Church of Gardena as they celebrated their 125th anniversary. Same day, I also attended the Harvest Festival, and then I finished the night out at the Elks, where we were honoring one of their longtime Elks members, and correct me if I'm saying this right, for his many years of service.
Plus, he's a Grand Lodge officer now.
And his position as a Grand Lodge officer, and I presented him a certificate of recognition from the city of Gardena. And then on this past Sunday, I attended the Fur Babies Love Fest event where this entire city hall was taken over by dogs and cats and reptiles, and I even saw a snake. And so it was really interesting. I mean, everywhere there were dogs and cats, but the kids, the parents, everybody loved it. They had a great idea where they were doing costumes. I think this year was a superhero theme, so this was their 5th year of having it. The event is just constantly getting bigger and bigger. With all the different booths there, with all type of healthcare things, trimming the animals, their nails, ear cleaning. I even found out they even have cakes for dogs. I mean, it was just a whole plethora of things for animals, and clothes, hats, you name it. It was something for them, and as well as their pet owners. So they had matching outfits. It was all kind of great stuff. So that was a lot of fun to attend as well. And then the last 2 things I just want to mention here, and I'm going to just kind of be cognizant of the time because we're getting out early, is, you often hear me mention I go to our CCGA meeting, and that's the committee that I sit on that represents all the cart rooms in California, and we fight to make sure that we can keep our cart rooms going. You've probably heard me mention previously that I've had to go to Sacramento myself, city manager, chief of police, and many other electeds from other neighboring cities with cart rooms to testify in hearings to try to get our assembly members and state senate members to not let the tribes pass their SB 549, which would allow them to have frivolous lawsuits against our cart rooms and ultimately end up closing them. Well, unfortunately, SB 549 passed by the Assembly. It also passed by the state Senate, and then the governor signed it into effect, which can be very detrimental for cities like ours. And so I think it was mentioned at our last State of the City that, we were worried about something like this happening, and now we're in the process of it's happening now. And so, our city is working very hard to make sure that, we prepare ourselves for this, because ultimately this can close our cart rooms down in the next 5 years. We're hoping this doesn't happen, but there's a very, very strong likely chance that this could happen. It was unfortunate that a good majority of the assembly members, they voted either in favor of the cart rooms, in favor of the tribes being able to do this, if they didn't vote at all, which was a yes vote. And unfortunately, with the exception of Tina McKenna, she was the only one who stood up for us, and I commend her for doing that. Even our state senator wouldn't vote on it, and ultimately this passed. So it's unfortunate for us, in Gardena, because this is a big part of our revenue here. So it's something that I think the community should know. We're in a better position than cities like Hawaiian Gardens because this accounts for over 90% of their revenue. Cities like that, they probably won't exist in a couple of years. So because it's just that bad how much they're relying on their card rooms. But that's just something we just want to make sure that we keep the community informed of because it's something that is definitely on our radar. I think I forgot to mention, we also had a finance committee meeting. Maybe I did, but, oh, I did, okay. So that's one of the other things that we're talking about, ways as far as, what we can do to make up for that money here. And then on a lighter note, I just want to share some information I thought was really interesting. I constantly commend our code enforcement for doing an amazing job. And I kind of heard indirectly from somebody that was telling me that they were talking to code enforcement in some of our neighboring cities, and they said, you know what, in Gardena, they really have their stuff figured out because we follow everything they do because their standards are so high, and it seems like they have like a whole like a tribe out there working for them. I guess they didn't realize we had our Gardena Direct here, and they said between their people out there, they said they're the way they kept describing us, it was like we were this amazing like code police force or something. And they said they are so on it there that we try to follow them and keep up with what they're doing. So Greg, please share with your code enforcement that surrounding cities are watching them. And I can't even describe it as well as this guy kept going on, but just know that the high standard and the professionalism that they're doing and staying on it with Gardena Direct as well as our other departments, it's definitely being noticed in our surrounding communities here. And with that, that ends my report. And next up is Mayor Pro Tem Tanaka.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I thought I was busy.
We're all busy.
So real quickly, because the hour is getting a little bit late, but attended the 9/11 memorial ceremonies that our city has every year, and I was honored to be able to bring in the invocation. So thank you very much, Stephanie and your staff for putting that on, and the chief and PD staff, thank you. Did Coffee of the Cop at El Pollo Inca. They're so gracious to us that they hope when they host us, that it's a plethora of stuff. So we just thank El Pollo Inca for that. Attended Gardena Beautiful annual cleanup day. It's amazing how many people show up for that. Ellen, thank you for what you did for us and how you took us around all the spots. But it was so good that some of the groups got done sooner than we really anticipated. So it was like they were finished because there were so many people. But the one thing I enjoyed was Perry, because I'm an alma mater from Perry, but their garden in the back, they're really working hard on trying to keep that up. So thank you. Attended the city employee recognition lunch. That we celebrate our employees. It's something that no other city, I believe, does. We celebrate years of service, exemplary service. We give them prizes and stuff. The, what's that thing we give away? The
day off?
No, the mug.
Hydro flask.
Hydro flask. That seems to be a big hit right now, but thank you for all of our employees for what they do, and that was a great event. Attended the Finance Committee meeting, as Madam Mayor said, we're right now trying to prepare for the future endeavors and challenges that the bill that the governor signed is going to put on us and a lot of other cities that have car clubs. So hang in there, and we'll keep you appraised of what's going on. Attended my COG board meeting. I have a whole bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to go into it because there's just too much to do. Attended the Wine Brew Cigar event for our seniors. I am proud to be a sponsor of that because our seniors in our city, we take care of them. We are known for taking care of our seniors. Stephanie, thank you so much for that event. You guys really rocked. You guys did a great job, and we appreciate you. I attended a Lomita Sheriff's Station fundraising at Trump's. It was to benefit their station and a couple of their fallen officers that happened this year. It was a really great event, so thank you to Lomita for doing that. Attended Coffee with a Cop at Chick-fil-A. Attended the Homeless Task Force, which I am the chair of for the South Bay COG. There's a lot of interesting things that are coming forward about homelessness. Attended the 24th Annual Canine Pancake Breakfast. Chief Safel, your guys did a really great job. Everybody had a great time. I think this is probably one of the better ones that you've had, especially because of the presentations that your canine officers put on for everybody. I think that was enjoyable, but thank you for doing that, and we hope you guys made some money. Attended annual Harvest Festival. I think this is a pretty good one. I think it was well attended. Again, Stephanie's staff, thank you. You guys just continually do things to make our city that emerald city that we tout every day. Did the 5th annual Fur Baby event hosted by the Infinite Love Animal Rescue, the founder, which is Candace Kuahara. The mayor and I presented a certificate of appreciation for all of her efforts. But Candace, 5 years ago, started a small little animal event at our courtyard. And it was really well received. And on that day, I told her, you cannot now stop. You must continue doing this every year. And she's held true and has done this, and it's gotten bigger and bigger and bigger every year. So next year, I can only imagine what it's going to look like. So we thank Candace for her efforts. A couple of things. The Citizens Academy and our volunteers, they were awarded their certificates of completion. But I want to commend the chief for being a forward thinker that brings these type of organizations to our city that help us with extra eyes, because he knows that we cannot do this by ourselves. And once you start bringing in citizens into our police departments, into our city, seeing what we do, how we operate, and being a part of that, it pushes forward, and they bring in more people, and they actually see what we do, and they help us to be a better city. So, Chief, thank you very much for that. And GGIP, the testimony today for GGIP, that's what we do. We're I believe, the only city that has a program like this that cares for our youth that are in trouble, take them in and try to help them to be a part of society without getting in all the issues that are out there, the peer pressure and the bullying and stuff. So again, Chief, thank you for what you and your organization does to make us a better city. With that, Madam Mayor.
Okay, thank you. A couple of quick announcements here. Let's see. So we have our semi-annual cleanup that is going on over the next couple of weeks here. And this is the one-day only event where you can leave your items out to be picked up by the trash company. If your normal trash day is on Wednesday, your pickup day is going to be October 12th. If your normal day is on Thursday, it will be October 19th. And if your normal day is on Friday, it's October the 26th. Some of the items that will be accepted will be things like furniture, appliances, yard waste, as long as it's bagged, as well as wood waste. Electronic waste, televisions, and computers will also be accepted. Things that they cannot accept will be things like oil or hazardous waste, fluorescent light bulbs and tubes, tires, concrete, dirt, or building material. No medical waste or commercial or business waste. If you have more questions about that, you can call WRG at 888-467-7600. We also have our TRP Halloween Craft Night, which will be Friday, October the 11th, from 6:30 to 9 p.m., and this will be at the Nakoka Community Center. We have our presentation by Gardena Police Department on fentanyl education. That will be on Saturday, October the 12th, from 9 a.m. to 11, and that will be at Nakoka Community Center in Room A on the first floor. We also have where we're partnering with Curry Brand and Tough Crowd to provide a free youth basketball skills building clinic and coach workshop to our community. This will be Saturday, October 12th at Raleigh Park. Space is limited, so we encourage everybody to sign up early. This basketball camp will be for youth wanting to learn basketball, as well as coaches teaching them as far as some good coaching techniques. And so for the youth grades 6th grade through 8th, it will be from 1 to 5. And the adults who are interested in being coaches, that will be from 2:30 to 5 p.m. You do need to register in advance for this event. We also have our Ministerial Association Luncheon coming up again, which will be Thursday, October the 17th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This too will be at Nakoka Community Center. We have our Women's Self-Defense Workshop. That will be Saturday, October the 19th. That will be done on the City Hall lawn from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., and it's for ages 9 and up. They also have a second class from 10:15 to 11:15 a.m. And you'll learn self-defense techniques through a workshop, different things to protect yourselves and to protect yourself as well as deal with challenging situations. We also have our RX drug take-back event, which will be October the 26th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., and that will be right in front of the police station. We also have another movie night coming up on Saturday, October the 26th. It will be on City Hall lawn from 6:30 to 9:30 p.m., and this movie here will be Disney's Pixar Coco. And we encourage everybody to come on out on your lawn chair and or blankets and have a great time just enjoying a movie with your entire families. Then we have Gardena on the Go excursion, and that is the Los Angeles Chargers game day. The Chargers will be playing the New Orleans Saints. This will be at SoFi. The game is Sunday, October the 27th at 1 p.m. You can purchase tickets here at City Hall beginning on October the 4th. Gardena residents, it will only be $40, and non-residents, it'll be $45. And you will be able to ride the 7X line to go to the game as well. We also have for Halloween on Thursday, October 31st, we have our Too Cute to Spook. It will be at Raleigh Park, and it will be a great event for kids 0 to 12, and it'll be a safe, fun-filled night of trick-or-treating. And so there'll be all sorts of activities, bouncy houses, music, raffles, food, as well as a costume contest. And then we also have our Halloween Scare Zone, which is also on October 31st at Freeman Park from 6 to 9 p.m. And there you can join us for a thrilling Halloween night at our Scare Zone. And let's see. Warning, due to the explicit and frightening nature of the haunted house, we are not recommending this for children under 13. So it's the warning. Okay. Okay, those are your announcements. Thank you for the warning. Okay, next we have, let's see, we don't have any remembrances, thank goodness. And we're going to move on to our adjournment. Tonight, the Gardena City Council will adjourn to the closed session portion of our City Council meeting at 7 p.m., followed by the regular City Council meeting at 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, October the 22nd, 2024. We are adjourned. And please join us in the back for cake to celebrate all the birthdays in October.